Hey guys, my name's Bethany and welcome to another video. Today we are going to be taking a look at the books that I read in September. And I didn't get a large volume of books, but I did read, so that's what's important. The majority of what I read were audiobooks. So depending on your classification of read, I consumed books. And overall, I read 9 different books in September. They were a good mix of YA and then a contemporary adult novel, as well as one that was in poetry form. So, very excited. Let's jump on in. And sorry if you see me sweating. It is like 93 degrees here in Southern California today, even though it is now officially October, and I'm upset about it. First up, I finished the Heroes of Olympus series by Rick Riordan. This is the continuation series of the Percy Jackson books, and I read those last month, so I just continued on with the Heroes of Olympus. I love Rick Riordan. I love everything he does. I've only read the Percy Jackson series as well as Heroes of Olympus, and then some of his Egyptian series. I can't even remember what it's called. If you somehow haven't read the Percy Jackson series, it's about Percy Jackson. He's our title character. He discovers that he is a demigod, so half human, half Greek god, and those Greek gods exist within the modern world, and he is figuring out how to live as a demigod, going through a whole bunch of adventures, meeting new demigod friends and other friends along the way, and trying to eventually save the world. So very good series, highly recommend. They are technically middle grade. I would classify the Heroes of Olympus and like the later couple Percy Jackson books as more like YA, and I think they hold over for adult readers, and I still really enjoy them. Those last 2 books are the House of Hades as well as the Blood of Olympus, and I probably would have rated both of those anywhere from 4 to 4.5 stars. I really enjoy the series. I have a great time every time that I read them, and this was the first time I actually read the last book because I don't really enjoy the narrator that they have for the audiobooks on Audible. So I stopped to the second to last book in the series, which is actually saying something because I'm one of those people where I have to finish the series if I really like it, which I did. I really liked the story, so that's saying something if I didn't get to read the last one. But I sucked it up, I downloaded the book, and it wasn't that bad. I still really don't like that narrator as much. He does a really good job on other book series. I just liked the original one that they started out with, the Percy Jackson series, as well as the first book, or the first 2 books of the Heroes of Olympus were a different narrator, which I just happen to like more, so I'm probably biased. The next book that I read was Star Daughter by Shweta Thakkar. Star Daughter is about Sheetal. She is half human, half star. Her mom is a star, like an actual star in the sky. And she is living on Earth with her father. Her mother left whenever she was very young, and she is feeling a calling to go up into the sky to the celestial court where her mom lives with her other star family and star grandparents. And she decides to make the trip up there because she doesn't understand her powers, and with her not understanding her star powers, she accidentally injures her father, so she has to go up to the celestial court to get help. Whenever she gets up there, she finds out there's some sort of competition or something like that going on up in the celestial court that she will now have to participate in, and she is up there with her best friend, Minal, and that sounds like a really good premise, doesn't it? And let's be real, the reason I picked this book up was the beautiful cover. I mean, look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? Plus, it is based on Hindu mythology, which I don't know very much about, so I was really excited to jump in. And my consensus was, it was just, I wanted to like it so much. I wanted to like it so much. But in the end, I thought it was just okay. I think the characterization could have been slightly better. I liked some of the secondary characters. They were very believable, very real people, especially like Sheetal's aunt or her dad were pretty believable, like real people. And her best friend was a little over the top, like she kind of rolled with things a little easier than I think any other human would. Don't get me wrong, I would love a best friend like that, but I just don't think that was slightly realistic. I didn't relate to Sheetal at all. Like I said, I read a lot of YA and I read a lot of fantasy, so I don't think it's that she's a teen. She's like 16 and I'm all about to be 28 here in a few days. I thought maybe there was a disconnect there, like, man, am I outgrowing YA and that was gonna really hurt me? But no, I read quite a bit of YA and that hasn't been an issue. So I think maybe it was just Chantal. I think she mooned after her boyfriend a little bit too much. She kind of was his groupie since he was a musician, and it felt more like she was a groupie than a girlfriend. So, but the pros of this book were the backgrounds, the mythology, the learning about the culture. All of those things were excellent, and all the descriptions were really well done. I like the very rich descriptions. Every food that was described, I would love to eat it. Every place that was described sounded really beautiful. It were just the characters that were a little lacking for me. I wish it had gone through maybe like one more round of editor polishing before it was released, just to make it its 100% best. But obviously that's just my opinion, and a whole bunch of people have loved this book, so I still recommend it, and I would give it probably like 3.75 stars out of 5. Moving on to technically, I guess, my only adult book this month. I read Transcendent Kingdom by Yagazi. This is, of course, a book of the month pick that I picked for last month, and I have zero regrets for getting it. It's very shiny. I almost can't get it on camera. It was a beautiful story, and we follow Gifty. She's a medical student who is studying the brain and how addiction and depression and things like that can be improved if not eradicated. And she is looking into those specific items because of what has happened in her past and with her family. And you kind of go through her reasonings as well as her past, and it's beautiful. It made me cry. It's just amazing. I would say this book is for anyone who has ever struggled with your religion at any point in your life, whether that's Christianity or any other religion, and how that relates to science, or kind of a growing up, how your religion can grow with you. I think this is amazing for anyone who is interested in complex backgrounds, including mental illness and addiction. And she also goes into some racial themes as well as some other hard topics. So highly recommend. It's powerful, it's wonderful. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Couldn't recommend it enough. I listened to 4 other audiobooks this month, and they were all within the Inheritance cycle, which is the Aragon series by Christopher Paolini. So I listened to all 4 this month, and I have read in physical form and listened to them several different times throughout my life since I was a teen. I chose to do them on audio just because those are the copies that I have currently. I don't have physical copies at the moment, but I would love some. And I actually really love the narrator. He narrates a whole bunch of YA and other books. I'll put his name up here because I can't remember what it is. Hopefully it's up there. But he's excellent. But Aragon is about a boy named Aragon, and he lives in a place called Allegasia, which is a fantasy world in itself. He specifically lives in Palancar Valley, which is essentially like a farmer valley. It's up against the Spine, which is a mountain range which kind of blocks them in from the rest of the country. And Aragon himself is just a farmer boy. He is up hunting in the Spine for food for his uncle and his brother, since he lives with them as basically an orphan, whenever he finds a dragon egg. And you see him go through hatching that dragon egg and running from the Empire, from the evil Galbatorix, who is the king that presides over Allegasia and may or may not have good intentions for Aragon. So very great series. I won't go into any more because I don't want to spoil it, but I highly recommend all 4. I truly feel that at the end of the series they come to a very good close. There are a whole bunch of questions that I would love answered, and hopefully eventually he will release more books in the series. But it looks like he's moved on to adult fiction, and he has a new book coming out, or it just came out at the end of last month, so I really want to read that one. But I've loved these for years. I think they're an excellent work of YA, I guess, fiction, and I'd really recommend them for all age groups. And if you read these and you tell me that you don't want a dragon after that, you're lying. You're lying. There are all kinds of interesting characters within the series, and it includes races such as elves and dwarves. It's very reminiscent to Lord of the Rings, but in a much more like palatable form, in my opinion. I enjoy the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies, but I've never been able to make it through the books because I feel like Tolkien's writing is a little bit like, it's too much. It's very dense, very flowery, very like involved, whereas I feel like these are like cut to the point and don't have the same plot by any means, but it just has those same fantasy vibes. There is obviously a movie for Aragon. I think it's okay on its own, but I enjoy the books a whole lot better. I feel like they obviously dive into a lot more details in the books, but the movies almost didn't really even catch the feel of what the book is, in my opinion. So still highly recommend it, even if you've seen the movie and maybe didn't like it so much. And the last book that I read in September was Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. I am so happy that I got to this one. I was a little intimidated by this one because I heard it was written in poetry form, but it is 100% worth it. I almost feel like it even lets you into like the emotional aspects of the characters even a little bit better than it would if it was just written in regular prose. I read With the Fire on High by Acevedo as well and really enjoyed that one, but this one I loved even more. And it's about two sisters, Camino and Yaharia, who have the same father but don't know each other exist. They have separate mothers and live in separate countries. One is in the United States, the other is in the Dominican Republic, and their father dies in a plane crash, and that's whenever in the aftermath they find out about each other. It goes into the emotions of dealing with their father dying, as well as knowing that he lied to them and finding out about certain things that were kept secret from them. It also goes into just the struggles of being teenage girls, as well as other heavier topics like sexual assault, grief, and a lot more. So it was very poignant, I guess is the word for it. It kept me interested the whole time. It's written in a way that you can tell which character is which, but towards the end it almost like melds together and you can just feel the two sisters kind of like speaking in similar tones. So I really like it. It's a very easy read. It's got kind of like spaced out lines, so even though it's over 400 pages, it didn't take me very long at all, and I highly recommend. And I loved it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 if that wasn't clear. Also, can we talk about the cover? The things that I love so much about the Acevedo books that I have so far, just the two, are the inside covers are still beautiful. They're like a almost like soft texture, but still a hardback, and they're beautiful. You can kind of see the Dominican Republic and New York City, the two sisters, all kinds of beautiful colors. It's gorgeous. And that is going to be it for this quick wrap up for September. I really enjoyed all my reads this month. I had a handful of 5 stars as well as some 4 and 4.5s. Pretty much all the books I read this month I knew I was going to like before I picked them up, so I was pretty confident in my choices. If you want to see what I'm reading for October, that video is already out and I'll link it down below. If you like the video, please give it a like down there so more people can find us, and subscribe for future book content. Check out my gaming channel if you like Sims, Planet Zoo, and other games along those lines down below as well, and my blog where we do books, Disney, and more. Lastly, we have my Instagram, The Entertainment Room, which is where we do more current book reviews as well as photography, which I know you'll love if you love this video. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful upcoming October. Bye. Okay, we got this. Allie. Oh my God, it's so hot. 93 degrees October 1st. What is this crap?